Hi everyone, thanks for watching today. This is the third and final part in my short series about making psychedelic trance leads. In the first two videos, we used MIDI and automation to generate a whole bunch of different ideas for this killer synth lead, which is sounding really funky. Now, today, we're going to go through all those tracks, start cutting them up, putting effects down, doing some processing, and see where we can get it. So I really hope you enjoy the class. See you later. Okay, so let's go in and take a look at where we left the project. So here is the synth, and this one had quite a lot of filtering on it. We automated the detune, the unison detune. That was when we actually had more unison on it, and several of the other parameters. So as we were going through the synth, as we were finding parameters that we liked, and as we were coming across different tonalities and sort of filter settings that we liked, we were bouncing them off, and those are down here. So the next part of this process is to actually go through all the bounces that we have. I'm just going to quickly mute the MIDI there, and just find the best bits. So let's take a look. And before I even get to the end, I'm already just going to start just getting my scissors tool out and bouncing literally just the best bits, because we have so much good stuff here that we're almost overwhelmed. So we need to be quite harsh. I'm not shy about muting anything which I think might create a nice bit of space in the track for perhaps a different sound. Just looking for the bits which sound right and maybe not as good. Just sort of trying to chop it into small workable sections. So for instance, I quite like the ending of this bar and this one. So I'm actually going to take this and repeat it every single time. And if I miss out this one, I might want to try missing out this one too. Remember, it's not bad to have space. It's hard to really cut any of this out because it's good stuff. But I guess having too much good stuff is better than having not enough. I'm also just going to bring in some percussion. This is what the percussion we were listening to in the last track. It's getting a bit thin here. not quite sure about that detune bit. So this is that bit, that ending wasn't as strong as the one before it. And we'll come back to that. Just listen out for the sort of strongest tonalities. I just want it to stay sort of solid. If there's any sort of flimsy, that's where I think the sort of phaser hasn't quite caught the sound nicely, so I'm just getting rid of it. Just trying to leave myself with only the best stuff to play with. Alright, what we got here? It's a bit weak. There's not really screaming sort of quality. Only the best bits. Alright. This one I remember was a bit boomy and loud. I'm just going to bring the volume down. So already hearing stuff I'm not as into. Pretty nice hit. Most of it's the filter is kind of sucking it below the where the tracks are sitting. It's sounding a little bit murky and muddy. So again, just trying to leave myself with the good stuff. It actually just sounds nice to have some space in the arrangement. It just occurred to me that I think this percussion loop is a little bit loud. I think it's chromium loop. Just suddenly occurred to me there. Okay, so let's go back through what we have. I'm also finding this stuff seems to be just sort of dominating the kick and bass a little bit. So what I'll actually do is I'll send all of it to a group. So in Cubase, I'll just do Alt Shift, hold those down, and then select group 3 is where we're going to send those to. I'll come down here and I'll name the group. I'll call this lead section. Okie doke. And then I'll just bring the channel down on that. In fact, I'll probably do this with compression. So let's bring in the URS and see if I can actually use gain reduction to sort of bring the peaks down. So I'm going to probably have the attack quite short, release fairly short. Let's see if we can use the threshold to actually bring the level down. I'll bring down the overall level a bit as well. Bring the release up a little bit, it's a little strong. Okay, so what we have here now is options. We could go back to the MIDI and maybe map that out to a sort of 32-64 bar lead section, and really sort of write a track around that and keep tweaking the melodies and find a patch and automation we really like. Or we could commit ourselves to audio and use these sections to sort of interact with each other in what I would call a sort of grid section. So let's take a look in and see if we can sort of carry on refining what we have here and sort of make the most out of it. So I'm just going to mute that for a moment. And those last two notes. And if I just, I'm actually going to make a new channel. That's what I'm going to do. I'll duplicate this channel. Select all events. Do that. I'm just going to pull this down here. And I'm going to create a little space so I know where to put it. And I'm going to try putting this at the start every second bar. So it's sort of like a looping motif. Again, we could get this looping as well, this sort of section here. So we've left some a sort of gap there. Let's see if we can fill that out with the other sounds. Okay, I'm sure that one will come in handy at some point. Great, I like this whole start. So we can get some nice sort of extra strength by layering these together. that. I'm just building on this rhythmic sort of looping. I might carry on developing this idea. So for instance, we could try putting some delay on one of these sounds. I certainly wouldn't be putting delay on everything because I would get messy very quickly, but selective delay can sound really nice. Let's try the Echo Boy. I'll just pull up one of my presets here. This is this sort of tweaked style. Sounds really great. And I don't want super long delay tails that are gonna mess up everything else. I want the delays to duck under everything. I'm trying ping pong. Okay, so it's just getting a little bit of groove in there. And let's try putting a little bit of rhythmic reverb on top of that to enhance the fact that those delays are sort of sitting in the background. So I'm going to put on the Valhalla Vintage Verb, my favorite in the box reverb. And I'm going to bring up this cool website, which is a delay calculator. So what I'll do is I'll enter the BPM of the track. There you go. And it's now actually given us the timings of delays in millisecond terms. And we can actually input that into our pre-delay and see if we can get a rhythmic reverb. So let's see. Let's try 434. I'll put this in here. If it goes up that high, just about, yeah. So that reverb won't actually kick in. There we go, that's close enough. Won't actually kick in for a beat. So it's not actually making the sound wet. It's kind of just making the delays of it wet. So it's now achieved a sort of shimmering echo sound. Let's see if we can integrate some of the other sounds. Okay. Let's take out this overspill. Okay, and now creating some sort of call and response feel. Take that bit away. And then I could loop that for a bar. And really the possibilities just keep going on. We could get that bit out and maybe run a bit of pan on that. In fact, this is where LFO tool comes in handy for doing these auto pans. I've got a preset here, which I made. It's just sort of like a sine wave shape. I'm just going to put that on the pan. Let's see how we can get some nice panning effects. And I'll turn my panning automation off, of course. Yo. Can get a bit of this one back in on the action as well. Okay, and let's see how this is all sounding with a bit of percussion. I'll drop in some more of my loops from the Sonic Formations sample pack, and okay, so there's tons of options there for where we could take this. We could continue on this loop format, or we get all sorts of one-shots and litter those around the track. From this point on, what I would probably be doing is some group processing, some dynamic processing for bringing out a bit of pump, and also continuing to not just work on these elements as a group, but going in and doing individual effects like we did with the auto pan there and the delay, and just different methods and techniques for getting them all sort of working together. And so stay tuned for more videos like this. I can't wait to see where we can take this part in the future. And hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and happy producing to you. Okay, and that's the third and final video in this current series on making a psychedelic trance lead. Now I say current series because there's still a lot more I do to that sound to get it sounding really well produced and professional, really pumping and energetic. And that's what we're going to look at in all the future videos. But so far, I hope I've been helpful. I hope you've learned some things and enjoyed the process. And I can't wait to see you guys in the future. So keep your eye on Futurephonic, and we'll see you soon. See you later. Bye.
Music.